morning. Okay. So I'm having a lot of fun with these transitions, as you can see. It is 6 in the morning. I've been up since 3 in the morning. My brain won't let me sleep. She really rolled out of bed to get this done because I was like, I need to go back to sleep. And we'll do this in the morning. And nope, she's not waiting. Okay, we're going. We're putting on the camera. I have recently had a revelation on human energetics merged with psychology, merged with kind of psychology, I guess, merged with the masculine feminine dynamics. I am not speaking to gender roles, but I will not lie that gender roles did inspire me. Like the idea of them, like that knowledge base gave me like a foundation to kind of branch off of this. But I am somebody who doesn't believe in gender roles. But thank you, society, for being extremely structured. It has its place sometimes. And in people's lives if they so choose to use it. So basically, where we're going with this is I want to talk about yin and yang energy. Now, I don't like to use the word masculine and feminine energy because of set gender roles. And like, first of all, masculine and feminine energy, or yin and yang energy, there's so much more than just masculine and feminine. I think that there's so much more than just yin and yang. But because it's a more gender neutral term and it's a more expansive term anyway, we're just going to use yin and yang. Yin and yang, yin and yang. So, in humans, we always have two. We always have the possibility to choose between two, right? We both have yin and yang inside of us. I think if we are living in this flesh world, this 3D, 2D mixture, whatever you want to call it, I think that we're like everything is going to have the choice between the two. Now, when it comes to connections in themselves, they're an unseen force between two people. They're like an unseen entity, its own sentience of itself, that binds two flesh bodies together. And yeah, that's actually a really like cracked way of thinking about it. I don't know why I said it like that, but it's kind of true in the first place. So basically, in a connection, you can play with these two energies of yin and yang, obviously. I think in the connection itself and the entity of it that it is, it's in its own right, you have a choice between one and the other. It's not really like one side has both yin and yang and then the other side of the connection has both yin and yang. It's really just one side has yin, one side has yang. And it's like up to the flesh bodies to kind of utilize their own internal yin and yang to kind of play around with the two solid forces in front of them. And what, like, now that I've laid the foundation with that, right? I just had an epiphany of how to utilize yang energy coming into or coming towards or interacting with yin energy, and how to kind of utilize it for the purpose of manifestation. Let's say that you are somebody, again, in a flesh body, right? So you have both sides, both energies available to you. But let's say you utilize more yin energy than you do yang energy at a certain point in your life, or just as a moral of yours, or just a way you act. When you, another person in a flesh body, or receives, I really hope that the algorithm doesn't hate me for saying flesh, 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 flesh. But basically, when another person in a flesh body comes to you and they are exhibiting at that point in time, or just overall in general for them, more yang energy, stick with me. We're letting the downloads download. My computer program is rebooting itself. Okay. As this yang energy is coming to the yin energy, right? It is going to give the yin energy something. That something can be determined by the yin energy. And this is all about consent, right? As souls, and it's a little bit more complicated as people, but as souls, we have, like, consent is like the main, be it or like let it be or die be, whatever, law. Don't know why I said it like that, but law of the universe. Like, nothing can do anything to you unless you consent to it consciously, on your souls, on a soul level, consciously. Now, as humans, that's where it gets a little bit complicated, because we're really not always that conscious of what our soul would just be wanting at any given point in time, right? But let's say, like, we are merging, especially during this time period, more with our souls in this physical reality, call it like a heaven on earth type of thing, right? We have more awareness of what our souls are actively doing and thinking and feeling and wanting at any given point in time, right? So now that we more collectively have this awareness, this is when this concept of like yang bringing something to yin can be actually utilized as manifestation, because now we actually have the awareness to decide and consent to what we want in our lives, what yang is bringing in. Now, this can be with another person, another flesh body, no matter if it's an animal or a tree, it doesn't even matter. As long as it has like a flesh body, like, you can use it like that, or you can use it with the general universal energy. The universe is made up of between yang and yin energy, right? So I think that the more mainstream, like, tales of manifestation kind of go into this a lot. You basically say, hey, universe, I want this, and then the universe is like, okay, I got you, I will give that to you, right? So using that same concept, we're kind of getting good at that. We're like going like bigger picture into smaller picture right now, right? Let's say, again, coming in with a person is coming in with yang energy, and they're acting a certain way, they're being a certain way, they're letting you experience them in a certain way, so they're giving you this type of energy, right? You can directly say to them, hey, I want this instead. I don't want that. I don't, et cetera, et cetera. How that works out in the 3D is, let's say, complicated, and that's not actually the type of scenario that I'm talking about. I'm talking about kind of going into this meditative state and connecting soul to soul with the person you're interacting with. Because I do feel, especially at this point, at the level of consciousness that we're all at right now, right? I feel like that is actually more impactful to people. I feel like if we were to directly talk to people and be like, hey, I need you to do this instead of this, there's so much gunk, we'll call it, in between that channel of like communication and then their consciousness at this point in time. Like, we are all so easily triggered, let's put it that way, right now. For good reason. We're going through an enlightenment period, like all of us. But that gunk, that it will eventually be cleared out, so it's like more like you can physically talk to people directly, soul to soul, and it just be like seamless and easy. Like we're going to that place, but we're not there yet. So I would honestly, like, in preparation for that time period, or to bring it in faster as far as like a reality we want to live, start doing it already indirectly. Start doing it with their soul, like literally start talking to people's souls. um Talk to them in your head, watch it work out, watch it make something happen. I promise you, I promise you. Telepathy is so potent right now. So anyway, so you're talking to their soul, you're actively looking at the energy that they're bringing you, right? And this is, I think, an untapped power of yin energy that we have kind of forgotten, because we've been living in this flesh body immersed experience for so long, and where consent is really weird, right? And this form of like control of what we want to receive is really weird, right? Not for long, not forever, just past to kind of now. By saying what you want, you change the energy that is coming from yang to yin. You change it completely. Now, this can look like a lot of different things as it shows up in the 3D. Once you start saying that, once you start being like, hey, I want this instead, this yang energy, as it's presenting itself in the 3D, might have to completely change into a different person in order to give you that energy, right? And that's okay. That's okay. That's what we want. No harm, no foul. However, I think we are coming to a point now, especially people who embody more yang energy inherently in their 3D, where yang in its own fashion is becoming more receptive to yin and yin's wants and needs. Hope that makes sense. And I think that when we ask, or when people, because I definitely resonate with being in a yin energy more than a yang energy, but I'm pretty balanced. But anyway, so when I say we, I'm including myself. So when we ask for this, when we are like, I've noticed I've been seeing a pattern in which I attract a lot of people in yang energy that are giving me more physical pleasure instead of emotional pleasure. I've noticed that I've been getting a lot of people giving me material things, but not giving me long-term stability, long-term presence. It's like the options of this are like the scenarios of this are endless, right? As soon as you recognize that pattern, that's when your yin has all the power. It's like, that's when you're like, okay, I see this. I'm going to pick and choose. I like the consistent materialistic give, right? Now, I want you to, like, we're doing a math formula right now, applying like chemistry or like science and stuff. I want you to take this frequency and put it right there. I want you to take the frequency of steady presence and put it right there. So that makes basically, I feel like we're doing The Sims with the avatar, like character creation. What did I say? Sims with the avatar? That sounds so, I didn't mean to say that. Sims in the Matrix. I'm gonna keep going. Anyway, so it's early. So basically, you're character creating. You're like, I want somebody who is consistent and who also gives me materially. Boom, bop, bam. The other power of yin is the power to not be able to perceive time linearly. So I do think that yang energy allows us to perceive time linearly. Yin is obviously the opposite of that, right? And I do think that that is where this level of massive instantaneous manifestation comes in. That's a separate video. We're not going to necessarily talk about that right now, but I do want to say that to follow up with, like, it might feel like your requests might take some time, and that's okay. But if you kind of gradually integrate yourself into more yin energy, it's gonna feel instantaneous. Absolutely instantaneous. Um, and this will start showing up physically, more instantaneously. I do also think that with yang being more receptive to yin, I think that that is also a factor that is bringing us more instantaneous manifestation. So again, it might not be today that we have our heaven on earth, but we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. And yeah, happy force bending, which is similar to chi bending, which is, if you haven't seen any of my videos talking about chi bending, it's like earth bending and water bending, like in Avatar Last Airbender, but you're bending your life force energy, your chi. To me, I would see this like yin to yang interaction as like force bending, because you're bending the forces that interact with you, you're bending the frequencies that are interacting with you. Yeah, have fun out there. All right, I'm gonna try to get some sleep, but no promises. I might be back with another video. She's cracking up there tonight.